Quarterbacks going down. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis because of your contribution. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media, and subscribe right here. You got to hit the bell for the notifications to know when we go live, which is constantly. Big-time quarterbacks and big-time programs going down in Week 5, starting with the Heisman Trophy winner from 2021. Bryce Young left the game in the second half against Arkansas with a sprained shoulder, confirmed by Nick Saban, who says he's, quote, okay. Bryce Young, 7 of 13 with a pick against Arkansas, but he played much better than that. A lot of dropped passes in that game, and again, he suffered the injury while falling down on the right sideline. He did stay in the game, but then couldn't continue, had to go into the tent and then left the game. Jalen Milroe, of course, stepped into action and led the Tide to a victory. Hit on a 77-yard touchdown run in which he completely burned the Arkansas secondary. 4 of 9 passing, though. You would consider one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in the nation coming out of Katy, Texas, to dictate a run-heavy Alabama offense if he has to go against Texas A&M. And, of course, that game's coming up in Tuscaloosa on October 8th. Let's hear from Stephen M. Smith, touchdown, Alabama.
Well, we know at this point, Mark, according to Coach Saban, it is a sprained AC joint in his shoulder, sprained joint. As of right now, listed as day-to-day. Alabama will see how he feels throughout the week prior to the game against A&M. Jalen Milroe will be prepared to go if Bryce cannot go. Ty Simpson will be readied up as well, a true freshman out of Tennessee. But as of right now, a sprained AC joint. We did see Bryce Young want to go back in the game. The coaching staff decided, no, you're too valuable. We're going to keep you right here. We did see him visibly cheering on Jalen Milroe and the rest of his teammates, especially on offense. So listed as day-to-day. We will see how he progresses this week. Fortunately, he has had these things before with his shoulder, and in a couple of days, he feels better. He feels fine. In my opinion, I think he does go because of the competitor that he is. But if he does not, then definitely Jalen Milroe will be ready, and Ty Simpson, the freshman, will be prepared as well.
Just give us a profile on Jalen Milroe and what he brings to the table.
What he brings is a very dynamic skill set, kind of like Jalen Hurts did. I think Milroe a bit stronger than Hurts, probably a bit faster than Hurts also. From the passing perspective, Milroe has the potential to be a really good passer, just needs to tweak some things. He had some throws out there, some a little too high, some a little too low. He did have a comeback route, which was just right. So there are some things to his game that build promise. The athletic ability, the strength, the speed, he can go. I did not think he had wheels like that. And then you watch the 77-yard run, it immediately puts, okay, this guy's got burners, never mind. But you look at just the passing ability. He's got some potential there, just needs to continue to tweak some things, work with it. And I think he doesn't have to be, Mark, the elite passer.
Most of us saw the shot that DILLON GABRIEL took against TCU on Saturday in a 55-24 loss. GABRIEL 7 of 16 off to a slow start, and his team off to a slow start and a weak finish as they got blown out against the Horned Frogs to drop to 0-2 in the Big 12. DILLON GABRIEL was in the middle of a slide, and TCU linebacker Janoy Hodge probably took a cheap shot that ousted him out of the game. Certainly, Davis Beville came in, and Oklahoma, despite being hopelessly behind most of the second half in this game, only threw 16 passes himself, 7 of 16, just like GABRIEL, for a measly 50 yards. So Davis Beville, who's only played one meaningful game, and it was a big one in the Peach Bowl for Pitt against Michigan State, 14 of 18 in that game. Really under the circumstances, considering no Kenny Pickett, Nick Patty, the second stringer who became the starter for the Peach Bowl, got knocked out of the game early. Beville, as the third stringer, steps in, plays well against Michigan State, but he did throw a pick 6 to seal the loss. Nick Evers, of course, top 10 quarterback coming out of high school, waiting in the wings as well. Out of Flower Mound, Texas, you got Micah Bowens, the Penn State transfer as well. Possible backups to Davis Beville if, of course, DILLON GABRIEL is not to go. coming up Saturday against Texas. Also on Saturday, we saw Jayden Daniels take a knee-to-knee shot against the Auburn Tigers, and Brian Kelly took him out. It was not a decision Jayden Daniels made. Brian Kelly says, I decided to take him out. He did not want to come out. No structural damage there. Garrett Nussmeier came in, didn't look great, 2 for 6 passing, although Jayden Daniels didn't look so hot against Auburn as well, 8 of 20 passing in that one. LSU takes on Tennessee coming up this Saturday. All right, Chance Nolan, Oregon State quarterback, after throwing 4 picks the previous week at home against USC, goes to Utah, throws 2 completions and 2 picks. Then he leaves the game with a neck sprain. Ben Gulbranson comes in, who had been the third-string quarterback. He threw 2 picks, but 12 of 21 for him against the Utes. Coach Jonathan Smith says that Chance Nolan may start. He's going to evaluate the situation, make a decision a little bit later this week. Oregon State goes to Stanford. Also, Quinn Ewers. All right, the Texas quarterback who had to leave the game after taking a shot against Alabama in the red zone had said prior to last week's West Virginia game that he would be ready to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. He's had some practice, light throwing, warm-up type throws. That was as of a few days ago. Of course, he had really good games against Louisiana Monroe and Bama, 25 of 36, 359 through the air, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Hudson Card has played admirably. We saw him take a shot against Alabama and hobble around on a bad ankle against the Tide. But since then, especially this past week against West Virginia, 21 of 27, 303, 3 touchdowns against the Mountaineers. So Hudson Card in good shape. Let's hear from Nick Battle, Nino's Corner.
I think the only thing that Texas fans had to kind of pump the brakes on was that was the first quarter. It was a great opening script from Sark. Is that going to be the Quinn Ewers for the entire season, or was that just a great opening script? And so, look, I think everybody sees that he is a very explosive, guy. We need that. He throws a deep ball beautifully. He had one that went to Worthy, and Worthy just dropped it in the end zone. So, I mean, he throws deep balls, amazing. Great touch. Just a great player all around. But pump the brakes. Let's not put him in the Hall of Fame yet. Let's get some more playing time on him. But, yeah, he's a great player, though. Quinn is a better passer by far. Hudson is a true dual threat quarterback. People don't want to give him his props when it comes to him just being a straight up athlete. Hudson played wide receiver, in high school. He didn't move over to, I think, quarterback until his third year. So he was an all district wide receiver. So he has wheels. He's a good, athlete all the way around. He can pass the ball, also, but Quinn just has a special arm talent that you haven't seen probably since guys like Patrick Mahomes and guys like that. So, but Hudson's a guy who, if you let him run the ball, this offense can just open up.
Couple star quarterbacks coming off injuries played full games the last week. Aiden O'Connell of Purdue, after sitting out the game against Florida Atlantic, he had taken a shot to the ribs. They were tender. Comes back against Minnesota. Doesn't play particularly well, although the Boilers pull off the upset on the road. For Aiden O'Connell, 27 of 40, less than 200 yards passing, 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Don't know if that stat line had more to do with the injury that he sustained and still lingering, maybe a little bit rust, and also the Minnesota defense is a first-rate unit. And it's great to see Sam Hartman back out on the field for Wake Forest, one of the top signal callers in the nation. Blood clots forced him out of action to start the season, missed the first few games, came back, and especially here in the last 2 weeks with a stellar performance against Clemson in putting up 45 points against one of the nation's top defenses, 45 points, 6 touchdown passes, and then they go to Florida State over the weekend, and Sam Hartman leads the Demon Deacons to a victory. Good to see that. Wake Forest takes on Army coming up this Saturday. If you've got any comments concerning these situations or others across college football, of course, leave your comments in the comments section and lock it in right here at the Voice of College Football.